All right. Well, let's get back. Hillary's email scandal. It is taking a new turn. I mentioned at the beginning of the show, it's now a criminal probe. The FBI is investigating to what extent Hillary Clinton relied on her home server to send and store classified documents. Joining me now, Heather Hansen, trial lawyer. And Heather, first question is, do you know if what she did broke the federal law?
Listen, it absolutely would seem to, Tom. You know, we've seen other people prosecuted or investigated for similar things. General Petraeus, John Deutsch, CIA director under the Clintons, was pardoned for something very similar. He put some classified information on his home computer. He was pardoned, but he lost his national security clearances. We also saw Sandy Berger, who was a national security advisor under the Clintons, who was prosecuted for this and entered a plea deal. What she has done is similar to what those people did. Now, the investigation in the past has been termed as being they're investigating how these emails were handled and not particularly investigating Hillary Clinton. Who handled the emails? It was Hillary Clinton who handled the emails. This investigation is clearly a criminal investigation into whether or not she had the intent to do so.
All right. FBI was asked, so are you handling a criminal investigation? They're poking around, and the FBI spokesman basically said, we only do criminal. So at this point, they work for the Justice Department and Loretta Lynch, and the Attorney General is supposed to be non-political. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, it's going to be up to her whether or not to pursue this. And there have been other cases, Attorney General Gonzalez, for example, where it wasn't pursued. I think what they're looking into now is, first of all, whether there was any damage, you know, whether there was actually any proven situation where someone got this information and used it against the United States interest, and whether or not she had intent.
But Heather, back to General Petraeus. He had it at home. There wasn't any damage done, and the only person he shared it with was a woman who a mistress, but she also had a security clearance. So what's the problem?
No doubt about it. The causation argument, the argument that it was no harm, no foul, is a weak one. I think the other argument that perhaps could be made on behalf of Hillary Clinton is that she didn't do anything that was anything unusual, anything any different. She had never been told that she couldn't keep things on her own personal server, and that therefore there was no intent. I think that's a stretch. But if the DOJ decides not to prosecute this case, I think it will be based on this idea that she didn't have any intent to do anything wrong.
Judith, you're over here shaking your head.
Yeah, well, look, we know in the cases of Petraeus that was an instance in which he knew the information was classified. It's going to be up to the government to prove, if they can, that she knew or should have known that information was classified. So it goes back
to that thing we've all learned about intent. You have to know that you're breaking the law.
Right, and I'm not a lawyer, but I do know that from having served all my time in court.
Wouldn't that be worse if she didn't know what was and was not classified? That'd be pretty bad, too.
Not know.
But what if it's retroactively classified? I think, as I said before, mistake. Homebrew server, always a mistake. I think that people moving forward, no one is going to do this again.
Right, and I think it's bad, too, that she kept doing this, and clearly nobody said anything earlier, like, oh, hey,
well, the other bizarre part about it is, and I'll go back to you, Heather, is that she traveled very proudly. She went to 112 countries. She was working hard. She was always on a plane. She was always coming and going from some foreign country. So what difference does it make if the server was in her backyard in Chappaqua? It should have been in the State Department, for heaven's sakes.
Absolutely, it should have been in the State Department. And listen to this. I mean, 5 of the 40 emails that they looked at are now determined to have been classified. That's 1/8 of the emails that have been looked at. There are thousands of emails. So the idea that she may not have known, to me, it is preposterous. Because it seems to me that if you are the Secretary of State and on top of that, you have served as the First Lady, you should have some awareness of the importance, especially with all the problems that we have with cybersecurity, of maintaining these types of things in the most secure way possible.
Well, the Republicans are going to want to go after her on this. The Democrats are going to say, see, you're just burning the Clintons at the stake again. You can see the arguments coming.
I don't think that's true, though. I mean, I haven't seen that many Democrats defending her on this, except those who are on staff. I think it's pretty well agreed upon that this was a mistake. And what's particularly disturbing, I think, is that her lawyer has a thumbnail drive of these, maybe just sitting in his office. That's the strangest part of it to me. I mean, I understand the home server, like you said, she's abroad anyway. But that you're literally, once you already know that there's a problem, and you say, hey, can you hold on to my thumb drive? That to me is the shakiest
lawyer
part
should
at
run
this
those
moment.
down to the.
Let's go get it.
All right, we got to move on because I want to switch gears here.